everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Find Your Voice with Marisa. I have a very special guest with me here today who is on a mission to record Chicago's music. I'm talking about my friend Peter Wilkins, better known as Peter Cottontale. He is the owner of RCM Recording Studios. He's a Grammy Award winning musician and producer, and longtime collaborator and producer of Chance the Rapper, dating back to the album 10 Day in 2012 and Acid Rap in 2013. Peter has worked with big name artists like Lil Wayne, Skrillex, Daniel Caesar, Kirk Franklin, and most recently released his very own debut album. And besides all that, he's just an incredible person whose career is on the ascent. So without further ado, Peter, thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me. And I appreciate it. As well as it's nice to have known you and being in the city for a long time. So it's good to reconnect.
Absolutely. We go back like a decade, I think, to high school times.
Almost. I might have been in college at that time when I met you already because I had made my way farther north. When I was in high school, I was just pretty much out south. But yeah, it's definitely nice to reconnect.
Well, yeah, regardless, it's so great to reconnect, and it's been so fun watching your career unfold. And I'm just really happy to have you on today. So thank you again. And yeah, I mean, this year, 2020, has been pretty insane. There's a lot going on, but it's been a really big year for you. So can you tell me a little bit about, releasing your album Catch and how that culminated and what that has meant for you?
It's the subject of 2020 and it culminating. I have to split that subject in half, only because 2020, it's been a big year for me, but it's been a big year for so much more. It's been a big year for our fight against systematic racism. It's definitely been a big year as far as people who are affected by COVID,
Right.
and everything trickling from that. So it's been a huge year, I think, for just everybody. So me and this music, actually, it really didn't have much to do with what was going on at that present time. I had been working on this music for years and years and years, track by track, not knowing kind of position I was going to put myself in until maybe like a couple years ago. I was like, man, all right, I'm gonna do this album. So and it just like I told myself last year that if I didn't drop it last year, I would have to drop it this year, and I was holding true to myself, and I did that. I tried to drop it around Easter. I ended up landing on like the Greek Orthodox Easter, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all that. It was amazing and how everything rolled out.
Yeah.
It ended up cool, and it ended up to bounce off the subject of 2020. It ended up applying to some people's lives. It ended up some of the lyrics. I always end up doing something. So yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening on repeat. There's so many great tracks on there, like Prayer, When I Get There, Feels Like Church. And I have to say, it is categorized on Apple Music as Christian and gospel. And I want to hear from you. You have so many different genres that you draw from. So, what would you classify your genre as in this album?
I actually called it Christian and Gospel.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I came from that, when we put it on iTunes. Most of the content I'm talking about is just a reflection of like kind of like where I've been through my belief, from like learning from my mom, from learning from Black culture, from learning from myself, and from finding my own path in that, and how it relates to me generationally and others around me, and forming the community from that. So it's just kind of been like, had to put it in Christian gospel. I couldn't put it in hip hop rap. I mean, I could, but low key, it was just a lot of stuff. I thought about R&B and soul for a long time, but it was nice to just find a resting place within how I was expressing myself.
Yes, and of course, the genre category doesn't define us. You're very multi-genre. I consider you someone who has so many talents. You play piano, you produce, you're a music director. You also own your own recording studio. I almost want to ask you, is there anything that you don't do?
There's a lot of stuff that I definitely don't do. I've definitely been blessed to be able to be in the position that I'm in at all times. There's a lot of people who struggle to be a Black business owner, and to be one is like a lot of hoops and mountains that you have to jump over in America. So I'm definitely appreciative for all the talent, all the things that were installed in me. It's so important. So I own the studio right now to try to kind of like not do that because I'm not teaching classes directly, but I definitely want to create resources and opportunity for people that I'm in contact with creatively, or people that they're in contact with creatively, or people that are in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So important to just like, oh, I could, all this. It really is a bigger picture. I do a lot of stuff, but there's still a lot to be done.
100%. And there's so much raw talent here in Chicago. Like, I went to Merit School of Music when I was younger, and you know what? I think you did too, right?
And I
All
did the
right.
summer program for a long time.
Yeah, very cool. I did the Saturday tuition-free conservatory program, like all throughout high school. So
Merit Music, yeah, shout out to them. They definitely got me in piano when I was younger.
there you go. You got your start there, and they're serving like 6,000 or more Chicago area students every year in music. So it's just so important to give back.
Definitely got to give back. Definitely got to back. I also did like all city choir when I was younger. I remember being like just a kid in the choir, man. Just kind of just like feeling my way like the rest of the kids in the choir. I mean, some people were just like singing and blowing since like day one, but I had been in church. I sung in church a little bit. I got off into making music and like the science behind it when I was going through my growth in music. But it came back to the foundation, which is what the album kind of was about.
Well, it sounds very personal, and I love that.
Thank you. Yo. It was a lot of vulnerability, so I appreciate that.
Of course. Okay, so I wanted to know if there's any groundbreaking moments you've had in your music career, over the last few years. We already know about Catch, we know that's huge for you, but other than that, can you tell us about anything that was just very groundbreaking for you?
I'm gonna go back in time. I'm gonna go 2016 Grammys. Before that, going on the Social Experiment tour, and I remember dates getting extended and being like, "Oh, I'm really not going home for a while, huh?"
Social Experiment is your band?
Yeah, it's the band that we play with Chance and make music with Chance, and we
Gotcha.
all go to form together to form like a production team / touring band with CTR, which is Chance the Rapper Touring.
Got it.
And we've been doing that since 2013. Whenever Chance has a show, it's pretty much been us kind of backing him up, or I've been blessed to be able to be his music director and been working with him for a long time. So we've been doing shows together for just, I think, 2012, 2000. Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I don't know what's the earliest show, but those are some life-changing moments. Fast forward, I think first time being Kirk Franklin was life-changing moment. We were in a rehearsal for the Grammys performance that featured him and Timberman and Tom Brown. He's like an orchestrator. He also helped write or wrote How Great Is Our God, like the very first one. Crazy.
Mhm.
Choir, strings, everything. And man, he heard the arrangement, and he was so humble and modest when he was like, "Yo, you are amazing. Like, I'm trying to learn this." I was like, I know I didn't walk into a rehearsal where Kirk Franklin just wanted to learn something from me. I'm gonna go pass out real quick. This is a dream. Like, I'm definitely, this man has so many things throughout the ages that reflect so many different styles of music in my head. He definitely has way more answers than I could ever think of.
He's legendary, but yeah, the fact that he still wants to be there and to learn and show up, that's incredible.
Life-changing moments in my career, life-changing. I think like working on Surf as hard as we did was definitely life-changing. Making the big day
Hmm.
was life-changing. It was a lot of things going on, but I remember sitting down at the piano with Randy Newman and like doing 5-year plan in the studio. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing for me. What? Like,
Just throwing out these names like it's nothing. Like, yeah, I'm chilling with Kirk Franklin and with Randy Newman, and no big deal. It's
those are so many names, but they have so much wisdom that they present at these moments because that's how they move, you know what I'm saying? And it just oozes off these people. And I mean, there's some like crazy, really crazy people to work with, but like these people have definitely not only been vulnerable in spaces and opened their minds and hearts to wisdom and hearing me out or hearing Chance out or hearing anybody else that I've seen them out, or just being like, spurting how they think things are should go. So it's been really cool, like meeting them, like learning from and soaking stuff up like a sponge.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's kind of like learning through osmosis, right?
Yes.
So we've talked about your collaborations already. I know you've performed on the Jimmy Fallon show, you've done Lala and won Grammys. Are there any other big stages you'd like to perform on, like maybe some international stages?
International stages.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places to be at that I always dreamt of going to that I went before was Japan. I would love to go back in Japan. They actually are supporting me very heavy radio wise right now, and still can't figure out why that the album has been #1 on their Christian gospel radio for like, I think last time I checked it was like 11 weeks. So I'm
Incredible.
not sure. Yeah, I have no clue. I really want to get back over there. Always shout out to Japan. International stages. Yeah, I mean, there's so many places to play.
Yeah,
I want
absolutely.
to play I want to play Gospel Fest in Chicago. I really want to play the Chicago festivals that I went to, and I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Um,
Next year.
Award shows, the Stellars,
Yeah.
really want to play that. Let's see, like, man, I really want to just create my own stage and just videotape it and then just put that
That's
out.
cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's pretty much it right now, at least.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you too. Like, just with everything going on this year, like, I think it will have a lasting impact. Like, do you have any thoughts on where the music industry is heading and, what that will mean for you?
Yeah, I feel that to me it is kind of coupling live performance with what happens digitally and putting that as the music industry. And I think there's two different aspects of that. There's a lot of marketing that goes on to promote some of the biggest artists that have some of the biggest shows. So
Mhm.
I feel like digitally it's the time to just kind of go harder. And not saying that there won't ever be shows, but I think broadcasting is changing.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Uh I don't think we should do a lot of things differently. Of course, we're moving differently, but we should be prepared to do the same things just in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes not even in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Just be prepared to kind of like do the same things, but preparation really is the key for a lot of that, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with you. Preparation is huge. And honestly, regarding 2020, maybe Catch came out at just the right time for people who are going through a tough time and needed something uplifting at this moment, and that's such a huge part of what you do as an artist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I agree with that. That's definitely a big part of the music.
Yeah. So shifting gears for a second, I know you work really hard and I just want to ask you what kind of things you do for fun. I see you biking around the city all the time. And what's a fun day as described by Peter Cottontale?
Hilarious. I did for a fun day. I wake up pretty early, so it's hard for me to stay asleep. So
How
if
early?
I like 6, 7.
Okay.
There was a point in time where I was doing like sunrise bike ride, doing a sunrise bike ride. Um,
On the
and let me see, when I can stay in bed, that's pretty cool. But when I'm able to get up and like maybe bike a little bit, have some free time to think and listen to some music, because you'd be surprised how often I don't get to listen to music for enjoyment. I get to listen to it I mean, I enjoy listening to music, but I don't get to just, oh, boop, what's this? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when I'm able to be free and not be able to be like, oh, okay, I'm listening to this because I'm studying to this. So I'm listening, when I'm able to do that, that's the best time
Yeah.
really for me. It gets you active, gets you singing, gets you dancing, you know what I'm saying? Gets you communicating, talking with your friends and stuff like that. So it gets you ideas going. That's my pretty much the best day for me, really, is to
Yeah.
be able to just be free and kind of like chill, maybe get some stuff done, but have my options open.
Yeah. I love
A
that.
lot of self care, yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. Like when music is your job, sometimes you just need to step away from it. But then when it's something that you truly enjoy, it kind of it reminds you of like why you're in it.
Yeah, when audio is your job, it's nice to be in control of the enjoyment of it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
It's a balance. And so that actually ties into my last question for you. And that is, what is your inspiration and your purpose for being a musician?
My purpose for being a musician, I think, no, people have asked like, so why music? And I think that we're multi-plane people. So like, I think there's a lot of different reasons why I'm in the position where I'm in. Um, a lot of it's been a blessing, and I think the causes around me or the effects around me, and me being the cause, some of it has been like people, like you said, being uplifted, or some of it has been being able to provide opportunities for people like me, people of color, what I'm saying, to be able to creatively get things out or being open to even being an outlet for that. So I think there's a lot of different reasons, but the effects of everything of why the music and like even some of my friends, music has great effects on people. I think that's the biggest reason, and those reasons are ever evolving. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. That's a great way to look at it. And, I lied. I do have one more question for you. I know you just dropped your debut album, but any plans for future music or any more upcoming albums?
there's always plans for new music. Just stay tuned. People can go to catchpeter.com for new merch, new stuff. My socials are Instagram. It's and my Twitter is Real Cottontale, RealCottontale. And you just reach out, hit me, no problem. I'm always around.
Yeah, I'm gonna order myself one of those Catch Peter hats. I love that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Of
Yeah.
course, you from Chicago, you gotta get it.
Yes, I absolutely need that in my life. So, anyways, I wanted to thank you for being here today. You are a star, my friend. And, congrats on everything and keep
No
going.
problem.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll see you around.
I'll catch you later, Peter Cottontail. Thanks all for tuning in.